as strong southeasterly winds fan a fire which has been raging on the slopes of Table Mountain. Firefighters have worked through the night to battle the blaze, which has so far gutted a number of historic buildings. The city of Cape Town says over 150 firefighters, including fire vehicles, have been deployed. Vanessa Poonah is on the story for us. Vanessa, we're crossing to you once again, but I just want to say we appreciate you endeavoring to bring us the story under such trying circumstances.
Thank you so much. And yes, of course, trying for us, but even more so trying for the firefighters who have spent the whole night trying to douse these flames. I'll just show you behind me a few seconds ago a fire, or actually they were still trying to douse this fire. You will see here that the wind speeds are incredible here in Vredehoek Street in Vredehoek. That, of course, fire jumping very close to the vehicles as well as to houses and properties in the area. A handful of these working on fire firefighters are just getting that little hotspot under control there at the moment. And then, of course, if I can tell you that we just received word from the City of Cape Town authorities that Ministerial Estate, as well as Dyers Park and Mountain View, as well as schools in the Vredehoek area, have been asked to evacuate as these flames really threaten or start to threaten properties here in Vredehoek at the moment. I can show you, if you'll just look to my far right, of course, there you'll see a host of firefighters on the mountain slopes there trying to bring this area under control. They're obviously damping down, beating the fire so that lest it spreads to this residential area here behind me. And I must tell you that the wind speeds as well as the heat factor is incredible here at the moment, and also quite difficult to breathe at times with the smoke coming our way. But we'll definitely keep you up to date as well as our viewers for the entire duration of today. I can just show you also fire vehicles all over the show as these winds will just not lie down today. And also I can tell you that as per J.P. Smith from the City of Cape Town a short while ago, you would have heard that he's confirmed one arrest so far in connection with this fire that started just about Philip Kosana Drive yesterday morning, and of course a charge of arson, and he's expected to appear in court soon. But at this point in time I can tell you that active firefighting is taking place at the moment. Let me just show you, I think that you'll see some vehicles. There's been law enforcement as well as working on fire, City of Cape Town Fire Services, as well as volunteer wildfire services. A host of agencies are on the scene to try and prevent this fire, which seems to be a runaway fire at this point in time. And given these winds, no helicopters will be deployed today because it's not safe for them to fly in these gusty winds. So it will largely depend on the fire vehicles as well as the physical firefighting efforts of firefighters to preserve life, but also to ensure that the fire damage is kept to a minimum.
Vanessa, the absence of the helicopters, to what extent is it affecting the firefighting process?
Indeed, the help of aerial support is always necessary and much needed in times like this, especially when the fire rages higher up in the mountains, of course, where the firefighters on foot can't reach. But as you can see, there's just no way I can foresee any helicopter going up at this point in this wind. Earlier on, the City of Cape Town's fire spokesperson, Jermaine Corals, had hoped that they'll be able to deploy an Oryx helicopter, but a short while ago the city saying that no helicopters having been deployed at this stage. And we've seen firefighters here behind me. You'll see a step out of shot so that you can see them. They're making their way up from that flame that just doused now, of course, with the equipment and beaters. And of course they are going to assist the rest of their colleagues who are higher up on the mountain slopes here, beating down to make sure that the flames don't reach the properties, and of course that the flames won't pose any danger or any threat to human life.
Vanessa, just in terms of the evacuations, we're a bit pleased, by the way, to see that there are some women firefighters as well. But how is the evacuation process going?
Yes, we've spoken to quite a number of residents this morning who have evacuated, some of them from as early as 2 and 3 o'clock this morning, telling us that many of them had received word via a sort of group WhatsApp urging people to leave their homes, and then shortly after 6 and 7 this morning, we were in a number of roads, including Pepper Tree Street here in Vredehoek, where the City of Cape Town's emergency services were indeed going door to door, urging people via a loud hailer to evacuate. Most people have done so. We've seen people packing their vehicles with bare essentials, making their way out of the area. Now, according to the City of Cape Town, they've urged people to make sure that they take necessities such as chronic medication, as well as ensure that they have water, their IDs, etc. Those basic needs that they would rely on in the short term. They've been urged, those people, and a lot of people, according to the City of Cape Town, have indeed made plans for accommodation up until this stage. And also due to COVID-19 regulations, no emergency shelter has at this point been activated as yet. I don't foresee that at this point there would have been a need to do so, but I can tell you that the efforts right now, of course, are on preventing any further spread of this fire. We have spoken earlier on as well via our studios to Mr. Imtiaz, or Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman, and of course one of the biggest humanitarian aid organizations that have been roped in. They've been asked, and they're always available to assist, started feeding students. Up to 4,000 meals have been prepared overnight to assist those UCT students that were evacuated yesterday. And I can tell you, talking about humanitarian efforts, I mean, just if one looks at social media, the tweets coming through on Facebook, people, ordinary citizens, have offered their support. People offering food, people offering shelter. There have been people offering lifts to students in need with their cell phone numbers, their contact details, and everybody's heart at this point in time seems to be pouring out to assist. Of course, we know that this fire has already claimed some historic buildings in Cape Town, the restaurant, as well as the Miller's Mill, UCT library. And we're waiting for confirmation, because according to UCT, they will give an update a little later on in terms of the exact extent of the damage. But we do know that engineers will be deployed there later on today, or would already have been on site to make sure of the structural integrity. And the university themselves, of course, suspending activities today as well as tomorrow for that process to take place. And the university then saying that they will indeed continue monitoring the situation to inform students as and when the need arises.
All right, Vanessa Poonah, of course, they're raising a very important point that all of this happens while the country is trying to fight off a pandemic. Well, you've heard Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo